If people's lives are so bad and they grew up so bad, they didn't have a father, they didn't have this and that, they didn't have good. Why the hell you having kids? Why the hell you having 6 kids? And you don't want to go to work, you don't want to do nothing. Fellas, ask yourself this honest question. If your life fell apart today, would you sacrifice your comfort for your children's safety? Or would you let your dog sleep in the front seat of your SUV while your 6 children slept in a locked storage unit? If you said no, good, because this man in this video, police found sleep in his SUV while his 6 children slept in a storage unit. Here's the footage.
For the first time, we're seeing video of that moment, Milwaukee police discovered 6 children locked inside a storage unit.
The video shown to jurors today during the trial for the children's father, Charles Dupriest. 12 News' Hannah Hilliard is live at the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Hannah, Dupriest is charged with several counts of child neglect.
Right, Rhea and Blake, it was back in September up on 27th and Silver Spring. A witness called 911 having heard a baby crying in a locked storage unit. The body camera footage shown to the jury here at the courthouse earlier today picks up as that patrol officer arrives on scene.
The woman we see in here, was that the 911 caller?
Yes.
It was the middle of a September night. Police called to this storage facility for a baby heard crying inside one of the locked units. The jury seeing this footage Tuesday alongside defendant Charles Dupriest, the man on trial accused of neglecting his children after police were able to bust into the unit.
Milwaukee police were coming in. Hi. What's going on here?
Inside, police finding Dupriest's 6 children alone, the oldest 9, the youngest a newborn. No running water, no electricity. Prosecutors say the only light came through the door's cracks.
How did it smell?
Like it was being used as a bathroom.
And that's because it was. The state saying the children used this bucket to go to the bathroom. Dupriest and mom Asia Zelinsky asleep.
You could step out, yeah.
In a nearby car with the family dog. The jury then saw recorded interviews with the 3 oldest children. A judge's order prohibits us from sharing the confidential footage, but the interviewer took the stand.
Does just say he doesn't like being in the storage unit?
Yes.
The defense asking questions in its cross-examination.
This was climate controlled, correct?
Yes.
As the state spent all day presenting its case.
Hard story to hear, Hannah. So the state has 2 more witnesses to call to the stand tomorrow morning.
Oh, right, Rhea. And then it will be the defense's turn, of course, to present its case. And the defense attorney late this afternoon did indicate Dupriest plans on taking the stand in his own case, in his own defense during this trial. If convicted on all of the charges he faces, his maximum sentence could exceed 25 years in prison.
Was he found guilty, not guilty? What happened? Because the verdict is in, so let's check it out.
Jury just convicted a father of neglect after he locked his 6 children inside a storage unit.
Yeah, that verdict coming down in the last 30 minutes.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Charles Albert Dupriest, guilty of neglecting a child.
Hannah Hilliard just stepped out of the courtroom at the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Hannah, jury deliberation lasted less than 90 minutes.
Yeah, Derek, it was a very quick deliberation. As you mentioned, that verdict read in this very courtroom just within the last 30 minutes. But it comes after a jam-packed day of closing arguments, but also defense testimony that included Charles Dupriest himself taking the stand. From the witness box.
Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
Charles Dupriest.
A defendant in his own words, Charles Dupriest, telling the jury Wednesday he and his partner Asia Zelinsky had fallen on tough times last summer.
As a person, I felt slightly inadequate. I was hurt, but at the same time, I needed the help.
The two relying on shelters and relatives for a roof over their 6 children's heads. But he says on September 15th, they used their storage unit for sleep while he stayed in their truck.
We arrive at the storage unit. Asia goes in with the children, and like 15 minutes later, I fall asleep.
So then what happened?
Next thing that I can remember is being woken up to the police knocking on my window.
You could step out, yeah.
Police finding Dupriest and Zielinski sleeping in the car an hour after they found their 6 children, ages ranging from 9 to just 2 months old, alone in the locked storage unit.
Hi. What's going on here?
During closing arguments, the state says the couple had other options for shelter that night.
These charges are not about poverty. They are about responsibility. And the evidence shows that these children did not have to be locked inside that storage unit that night.
And Hannah's back with us live from the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Throughout the trial, Hannah, prosecutors really hammered the conditions inside that storage unit.
Right, Derek, the state saying that the children used a bucket for the bathroom in that storage unit, and the only light that was available in the unit came through the cracks of the garage door. Now, both the prosecution and the defense, they declined to comment after the verdict was read here late tonight, but we do know that Dupriest will remain in custody as he now awaits sentencing, which is set for April.
Hannah Hilliard live inside the Milwaukee County Courthouse with this breaking development and guilty verdict in this case. The children's mother took a plea deal in the case, and as part of the deal, prosecutors dropped 4 felony neglect charges, and Asia Zielinski pled guilty to 2 misdemeanor charges.
Let's talk about Charles. Charles is 33 years old, has 6 children, leaves them in a storage unit while he sleep in the car with the dog in the front seat and the baby mama. These all her kids. These all her kids, ages from 9 to 2 months old. And that little boy, in that voice you heard when the police entered the storage unit, was a 9-year-old son that was told to be in charge of all the kids. A 9-year-old. I got a 9-year-old that comes on here and does videos with me. Speaks very well. But he can't even clean up his room. There's a lot of things that he can't do well. You asking a 9-year-old to do that? Come on. Both of you are asking a 9-year-old to do that. And according to his testimony, the mother took him into the storage unit, and she came back out to the SUV, and her, Charles, and the dog slept in the SUV. But we gonna get to the mother. We gonna get to her. We gonna get to Miss Asia Zielinski. I don't know how her name got to be Zielinski, and she's black, but that's a whole nother subject. Charles, 33 years old. According to the police records, in 2010, when he was 17 at the time, he got charged with 3rd-degree sexual assault of a 13-year-old. These are his convictions. These are his convictions. This stems from a 2010 conviction of 3rd-degree sexual assault. He was 17 at the time, and the victim was 13. A felony gun charge in addition to the child neglect charges. He was charged with possession of a firearm by a felon. Police found with him a gun when they arrested him. Alleged abuse. According to a criminal complaint, the 9-year-old son told investigators that his father would get drunk, smoke weed, and then discipline them. The boy described whoopings that were sometimes so hard that his lips would bleed. Eviction history, the two had 2 evictions filed against them in 2024 and another one back in 2018. So Charles Dupriest isn't new to this. He's true to this. This is what he does. Now I don't know what kind of dude he is, what kind of dude you are that's watching this, but I know when I was 17 years old, there was no 13-year-old that was fine enough for me to mess with. Right then and there, you should have known that Charles is a scumbag. Right then and there. Right then and there. But then he goes on and has 6 kids and he's abusing them. The mother, Asia Zelinsky, 27 years old. The 2 of them, somehow, they don't say who it was, but was getting $2,000 a month and food stamps. So there was no reason for them to be sleeping in a car and for them to have their 6 kids in a storage unit. They say that they were kicked out of the Joy House shelter after they gave birth to the 2-month-old child. But the director at the shelter testified the family stayed there in 2023 and again in 2025. The shelter stated that the family allegedly left voluntarily and had reported finding permanent housing. They were not kicked out. So everybody probably thinks, oh, they was living on this. They didn't have no money. They had money, they had food stamps, and they had a shelter to stay in. But you know what? They probably didn't want to stay there because you know what? Charles probably wanted to smoke weed and drink. And they told him, you can't do that. And Charles probably didn't want to get a job. They probably had regulations and stipulations trying to help them get jobs and get their shit together. They didn't want to do that. See, we know men like Charles. You know people like him. I know people like him. And sooner or later, you're going to get what you got coming to you. Like it said in the beginning of the video, he can get a sentence that even exceeds 25 years, which he probably will. This is what I want people to know while I'm making this video. Nobody cares about you as a man. You can be doing the right thing and people don't care about you. But if you like this dumbass doing the wrong thing, you can bet your ass that don't nobody give a fuck about you. And that's what you better tell your sons. Doing the right thing, you're not going to get a pat on the back a lot of the times. But doing the wrong thing, they will put you in a cell, lock the door, and throw away the key. And before we get off this video, this ought to show you men that being with the wrong woman will fuck your life up. This woman did everything he did. What woman that's worth anything would be away from their 2-month-old baby who's completely dependent on them for any amount of time? She ain't worth shit. But she got off. How many men do you know that get involved with a case and get 4 felonies dropped from them? Tell me any man. Man, if you got one felony, man, you going to jail. If a man's got one felony, he's going to jail. He so, more than likely he going two, you can forget about it. 3, 4, what, you done snitched on the whole neighborhood, the whole side of town? What, how can you drop 4 felonies against her? All she got was a couple of misdemeanors because they probably think, oh, well, the kids need their mother. They don't need this bitch. They don't need her. They can do bad by themselves. Don't nobody feel sorry for you, Charles Dupriest. Don't nobody care about you. But the people you let down was those 6 children. And even the 9-year-old said, why does the dog get to sleep in the car and we don't? You deserve every year, every minute that they give you because those kids didn't ask to be here. Don't nobody give a fuck what happened to you in your life. If people's lives are so bad and they grew up so bad, they didn't have a father, they didn't have this and that, they didn't have good. Why the hell you having kids? Why the hell you having 6 kids? And you don't want to go to work, you don't want to do nothing. This is true. This if this ain't a wake-up call to any man out there. They let the mother go, drop 4 felonies from her, give her some misdemeanor charges when she was doing the same shit that he was doing. But you going to jail for the rest of your life. Because that's what I tell men. When they say, oh, my son's mother won't let me do this and she won't let me do that. Well, when he gets his ass in trouble, what are they going to do? They're going to blame it on you. They're going to blame it on you. They ain't going to blame it on her. They're going to blame it on you. They blamed all this shit on him. Nothing on her. And she was right there with them. If that don't tell you something, if that don't tell you and explain to you and let you know what you got to do as a man, as a father, I don't know what is. So that was this episode of the Raising Carter podcast. If you got anything from this, if you got anything, you got any value from this, man, tell somebody about the podcast. Tell somebody about Build Better Dads, the website, the coaching program. And I'm out of here. Peace.